I am seriously tempted to make matcha just because I am dressed like matcha. I'm tempted. I'm very much tempted. Is there more to Reels than just trends? In this video, I'm going to be sharing the 2 types of Instagram Reels that I recommend creating as an Instagram coach for small businesses, for creators, for anyone that's trying to leverage short form video. I'm going to be breaking down the pros and cons of each type of Reel in your strategy, along with tips and fresh ideas for leveraging these types of Reels, especially if you're feeling completely over the cringeworthy trending culture on Reels, especially as a business owner. If this is our first time meeting, I'm Natasha. I'm an Instagram strategist helping small businesses leverage video in their strategy with confidence. And when Reels first came out, I hosted the first 30-day Reels challenge of its kind, and it truly was an experiment with over 2,000 entrepreneurs really just testing out Reels and seeing what worked and how to just create Reels content. And while I don't think you need to post 30 days worth of Reels consecutively to see results with Reels in your strategy, it has taught me a lot about why certain types of Reels perform well. And that is how I discovered the 2 main types of Reels that I recommend putting in any Instagram strategy that I leverage myself. We of course have trending Reels, and then we have what I like to call show and tell Reels. So let's talk about what we're already very familiar with, trending Reels. This is leveraging the trending culture of Reels using audio, using text, and maybe it's a lip sync, maybe it's a specific song or a remix of a song. And typically there's a certain way to edit, create, or film this video to follow along with the trend. The reason why you'd want to leverage trending Reels is for the reach. Instagram has that trending up arrow if you start scrolling through the Reels tab. And this is a really great indicator of not only what is trending, but what Instagram is really pushing as a current trend. These Reels also can be really quick and easy to make because they kind of have a built-in outline of what you should be saying, what music you have, what context you should be adding to the video. They kind of give you that dose of inspiration on what your content should be about. And the reason why I love trends so much is because they can add a lot of fun personality to your brand, especially if you have a certain sense of humor or you just like to have a lot of fun. The biggest con that I have seen more and more as Reels have just gotten older and more established on the platform is that they can feel really stale, really boring, really lifeless, and very mundane when you scroll through your tab and you see the same trend over and over and over again. It can really lack originality. And for a lot of people, they can just simply feel awkward as a business owner that's trying to use Instagram to sell their services and their products and to really build that trust with their audience. With the nature of trends and them becoming saturated over time, this really increases the importance of really posting these types of Reels almost as soon as you create them. They're not the type of content you can batch way in advance because then they kind of lose their sparkle, if you know what I mean. My trick is I actually love to use TikTok as my research platform because I found that maybe a week to 2 weeks later, whatever is currently trending on TikTok, chances are will slowly migrate to Reels. And maybe that will eventually change, but that's how I kind of am first to a trend, or at least know what's happening so I can hop on it a lot sooner. My biggest tip for you when using this type of trending content is really to use it when it feels the most aligned with your brand, your strategy, and when it feels like it makes the most sense for the type of content you want to create for your brand and really applying it to your industry. You don't want to just do trends to do trends. I can guarantee you if it feels a little weird creating it, chances are it probably won't perform well anyway. But really the key is making it industry specific and making it very specific to the type of person you're wanting to reach. That is going to really increase that not only you're reaching the right people, but that they actually will convert and become followers, a part of your community. So for me, I often know that people are struggling with Instagram tips and strategies, but most of all, they have very strong feelings feelings of feeling burnt out, struggling with content, not knowing what to post, not feeling confident on video. I know all those feelings that my ideal follower and ideal customer has, and I create relatable reels with those in mind, which not only creates that conversation, creates a lot of great engagement, but really ensures that I'm attracting the right people that kind of have similar philosophies as I do. So now let's talk about my favorite type of reel to create right now, which is show and tell reels. I completely made that up, but it really explains what these types of reels are comprised of. Simply put, show and tell reels are using short form video as a way to create content, ignoring a reel being a reel and just creating short form content around the topics that you're going to create for your brand, your industry, your goals, your strategy. The reason why you'd want to leverage show and tell reels is compared to other types of video content like just regular Instagram video is that they have a lot more reach because they are a reel. This has to do with it being a reel and there being so many places to discover reels on the app, but also with them being pretty short form in nature, being under 60 seconds, which makes it really easy to consume your content and get a lot of value from it pretty immediately. You also can completely customize these types of reels to your brand. No matter how you want to create content, it can be visually portrayed in a reel. And from a strategy perspective, this is the best way to nurture and connect with your current audience. The goal isn't necessarily reaching more and more people, but really being more strategy driven as a business using the platform to really serve your current audience, nurture them so they're a lot more warm and likely to convert and buy your offers. So if you are feeling like I am sick and tired of seeing reels, creating reels, and you're feeling really resistant to those trending reels that I shared, this is your way to carve out your own unique space using reels. And I want to preface by saying it might take time for that new way of creating to get traction, right? But it is totally worth it if you are creating super intentionally for the people you're wanting to connect with anyway. And one of the bonuses of this type of reel compared to trending reels is that these are a lot easier to batch. You can create a lot of these types of reels because they're a lot more evergreen, meaning that they are timeless. You could post it today or you could post it weeks later and it's not going to become irrelevant. It's not required to have that timeliness factor. The biggest con with this type of reel is like, it definitely requires some creativity, but it might not get as much reach as trends. But as I kind of mentioned with the why I love this type of reel is that like that's not the main goal of why you're using show and tell reels. So now let me brainstorm the show and tell parts of these type of reels. So the show part could be visually showing something using short form video. This could be vlogs, so documenting, it could be demonstrations, it could be tutorials, essentially using short form video as the vessel to tell a visual story. And then we have the tell part of it. This can be used with the show part of your video, but essentially this is you leveraging talking to camera, voiceovers, or any music of your choice, any way that you like to use it. So not necessarily having to be a trending audio. This also can include one of my favorite features with Reels, which is video replies. So video replies, not only is it in the comment of the original Reel, but also in that video reply Reel, it links back to your content. So it kind of creates like this content web of Reels. And why I love it is that you're creating for your community. I actually posted a Reel where I was like, hey, do you guys want free advice on Instagram? Comment it below. And I essentially took my favorite comments, the most popular comments, and I created literally weeks worth of Reels just with video replies. And not only does it make your community feel really special, really engaged, but like I mentioned, you are creating for your audience. And you can use this if you have a product, you could use this for coaching, advice, inspiration, literally anything you could imagine. And my biggest tip for you if you're wanting to use show and tell Reels is go back to your content, whether it's on Instagram, it's on other platforms, blog, newsletter, YouTube, TikTok, and really see what performed well and how can you use the show and tell structure. If you need help with repurposing content, I actually have a free video lesson that you can download at shinewithnatasha.com/video. I've linked it in the description, where I walk you through the 3-step process I do when repurposing any type of content, which you can use specifically for these types of reels. So as you can see, there are more than just trends that you can use in your Instagram strategy, and trending reels versus show and tell reels, there isn't one right way to use reels in your strategy to see really great results. I personally love to use a really great mix of both. I love to batch my show and tell reels, so I have a library of those scheduled, ready to go, and they really don't go out of date and they serve my community really well. And then I like to add trending reels when I see a trend that I'm like, this is perfect, I need to create content on it. And that helps me find the perfect balance of a little bit of both. I know with trending reels, it can feel like you're constantly chasing the trends and constantly having to stay on top of Instagram and scrolling through the app, finding trending content. So I feel like this helps you find a lot more balance with how you're using reels and just bring more fun back into using essentially just short form video in your strategy. If you need more help creating reels, I actually share my entire reels batching process for both trending and show and tell reels in this tutorial. I teach you how to use all the features, functionalities, and my favorite app, InShot. So be sure to check out that video, and I will see you next time.